Hi. So, okay, so this would be this one. Yes. Yeah, I'm sure you're going, this is not golf with your friends. And you'd be right. Um, I got a little tired of the content coming out when it wasn't supposed to because of the fact that, there was something I have to do with mother-in-law and father-in-law. Although mostly it's my father-in-law. Anyway, so I pre-recorded a few things. And I didn't get a chance. I literally did not get a chance to do the rest of the weekend so I could maybe do my story. But I did do where'd it go? Okay, so the other day on the 15th, I did chapter 10 from Winnie the Pooh. That's what it said it was, so I was like, okay. Photo, yesterday I did photo animals. And I did, a little bit of Forza Horizon 6. More than I meant to, though, because it was almost 2 hours. And I did Golf with Your Friends. It's Haunted Museum. And then Pac-Man. And then some GTA stuff. And then coming up in that is not what I said. Yeah, coming up in December, I've got a surprise for everybody. Um, I'm confused. Because my Game Pass is going out yesterday. I've got enough to pay for the Game Pass when it is ready. I just okay. I got enough to pay for Game Pass when it decides to kick me off and say get Game Pass or else. Although right now I'm playing a game that um I own already. Yesterday I ended up buying Golf with Your Friends, which was really cool. I ended up getting some I ended up turning in some of my Game Pass points. But I got, but I ended up buying the buying Golf with Your Friends because it's supposed to be going off a Game Pass soon. Which means that I gotta fill in that space with something else. There's just not that many Game Pass games that I want to play. I mean, there are a lot, and there's, what did I play this month? Oh, I just realized I'm living life without my glasses on. That's not good. Oh, look, I can kind of see. Okay, okay, so this month I played Dreamlight Valley, Power Wash Simulator, which is kind of annoying. Minecraft, Disneyland Adventures, Forza Horizon 5, Forza Horizon 6, Golf with Your Friends, and Minecraft Preview. It's kind of annoying that I can't record Minecraft Preview because I'm building an upside down tower. Even better one than last time. And I just, I'm not using it to show everybody the super secret plans of Mojang, Microsoft, whoever owns Minecraft right now. I just want to be able to show my upside down tower. Just a minute. Okay, I don't get it. I thought it was a Disneyland Adventures thing. I mean, not Disneyland Adventures. I thought it was a Disneyland video that I put on, and it says, he's outside looking at the thing, and it says "Go Bananas." I want to say he said it was a charity event, but I'm not entirely sure. And want to say they do it every year. But again, I don't know. I felt like I had something on my I am. Oh, hey, I woke up this morning to we have 65 followers on Twitch. It's very awesome, and thank you. Yeah, I pre-recorded a whole bunch of stuff, so unfortunately, if you only watch me on Twitch, you won't be able to see. Well, yeah, you'll be able to see all of the content, but it just won't be live. And then if you only watch me on YouTube, you'll be very, very happy because there'll be tons of content. You could choose what you want to watch. Now, the Twitch viewers will get to see that special surprise before December, but the YouTube ones will have to wait until December to watch it, unless you also watch Twitch. As I say, me personally, I don't know how to watch Twitch, but yeah, I do. Never mind. I forgot, but then I remembered. I would say that I'm a Twitch amateur, maybe a Twitch noob, but I would say I'm an amateur probably. Like, I know how to use it. And I've been using it, like, to the best of my ability every day for 2 years. I can't actually say that it was every day, but I have been using it a lot, and I think 2025 and 2026 I've been streaming every day. Except for on appointment days for father-in-law and mother-in-law. The mother-in-law doesn't care about my schedule. She's just like, we have to do this, we have to do that, we have to do this, we have to do that. And okay, So my husband was talking like today is going to be a pretty short day because of the fact that he's only got 6 hours of work left of his work week. He's salaried whether he works that full 6 hours or not. He's supposed to get the same amount of money. He doesn't always, but he doesn't always, and he can get overtime. They would rather him not, though. Yeah, and so we got an anomaly. Well, I got an anomaly the other day. We'll call it a weirdness. Because Star Trek calls it Star Trek calls it an anomaly when they're like, I don't get it, what's going on here. Sorry, Sam, I did not mean to disturb you. one day of the week that I did not have food before stream. Dang it. I was tired. Normally, I wake up at 6 something. And I must have been tired because I did not wake up until 7 something. Anyway. Yeah. We got, we got two different GTA videos. One is very short and the other one's very long, but it's got some new content in it. There. It's the one where you steal the paintings, and in some cases you put up fakes in their place. I think the fakes should have been, like different colors and stuff. Like instead of one of them's wearing a red bikini, I think it was. And instead of her wearing a red bikini, maybe, when you put up the fake, it's purple. So the kind of cool news is that mother-in-law and father-in-law finally got it to where all they have to do is get that paperwork in by the 31st, and they can have the welfare benefits like they wanted to have. And it seriously ought to be like you're a senior, you just qualify, but no. She said for July they would not qualify, and I think that's crazy because they didn't get any pay, as far as I know, in July. Whatever. We'll figure it out. Pay for my job. So my husband keeps telling me that he understands this is my job and all that, but then he'll go and change his tune to we need another income in the house. And he's driving me crazy. Because he knows that there's like no way because I swear people must be calling up previous employers, and one of them's Walmart, and they must be bad mouthing me or something, even though I'm hearing from my husband, and I think it's just wishful thinking, that they are not supposed to badmouth you. They're supposed to say the good stuff. And, truth be told, I was not causing problems to be causing problems. I was trying to get people's lunches and breaks on time. Breaks and lunches on time. Anyway, so, what else has been going on? Well, um, because of having to go to welfare yesterday, I got to almost page 130 in the book I'm reading and found some typos. I literally said, um, it, in on the one page, Jonah has to put his arms around Ashley because, she's scared of storms and Sean is not available. And instead of putting his arms around her, I put that it was her arms around her. So I'm going to have to fix that when it comes around. And the whole thing's only like 267 pages, so I'm going to have to fluff it out a little. Like the whole story is just to, um, just to explain what he was doing at the time, what Sean was doing at the time. And then maybe we ought to have some more of what Jesse was doing at the time. Um, I just don't know what to do. 'Cause, like, I write my story, or as I put it sometimes, I, do my story when I'm happy, and, you can't be happy when you're worried that you're going to get kicked out. But Guild Mortgage did do something very nice for us. They paid a little bit of what we owe the HOA, so. Um, I don't have a cold or anything. It's just the snifflies or morning nose. Usually happens to me in winter though. Oh, that's something that happened. Um, my husband went and bought me these compression gloves. I don't think they're working as good as they were supposed to, but they're working. Kinda. It's the kind of thing where they work when they're on, but they kind of, um, they, like, if you need to eat, they're kind of getting in the way. Anyway, my husband said that he should be off after the 6 hours, and I'm hoping that he's going to be able to um, take his dad to dialysis. Not that I have a problem with doing that or anything. Just, maybe I will be in a little bit better mood and be able to work on my story. Because I still have the current idea of flood the market and they will come. Um, Now, the original quote, just so everybody knows, is "Build it and they will come." It was on a movie called Field of Dreams. I was wondering if there should be a "the" in front of it, but it was Field of Dreams, and it had Kevin Costner and James Earl Jones. And I really need to figure out what that guy's name is. But he played one of the two bad guy minions on the movie Sneakers, which had Robert Redford in it. He was a younger one. He was a younger one with red hair. Well, in Field of Dreams, he played the brother-in-law, I think. And he got upset because he has no imagination. Like, people are coming to the house, they're watching the baseball game. And if you have an imagination, there's a baseball game. And if you don't have an imagination, then you're just spit out of luck. You don't see anything. You see, what was a cornfield. And the, I think it's Shoeless Joe Jackson. I think that's who it was. Is one of the guys playing the baseball game, but they're all ghosts. They're pretty much all ghosts. And, so there's like Shoeless Joe Jackson, but the thing is that the doctor in town, he's kind of regretting that he didn't, stay and do Major League Baseball. But the thing is that brother-in-law gets so upset that Kevin Costner's character's daughter is sitting there on the bleachers eating a hot dog. Of course, she's got an imagination, so she's sitting there watching the baseball game. For some stupid reason, the brother-in-law starts shaking the daughter, and, like I said, she's eating a hot dog. So Shoeless Joe Jackson has to, maybe it wasn't him. Maybe it was one of the others. But anyway, one of them ends up being the doctor, and the reason, and like he comes back from being the baseball player and all of a sudden is himself in person form. And I know I'm making it sound a little weird, but anyway, he gets the little girl to dislodge the hot dog from her throat, and it's all good. So, he knows that if he had stayed a baseball player, that maybe that little girl wouldn't exist anymore because she would have been unalived from the hot dog. So, anyway, then all of a sudden, brother in law can see he can see everything too. And this is really hard to tell if this is all the same, all the right color. Well, he was like trying to, the brother in law was trying to prove a point that there's nothing there. But like I said, he doesn't have an imagination, so. Then um, after the daughter gets rescued, um, it's like all of a sudden he could see it too. Anyway, it's a good movie, and I really wish I knew that actor's name. Although, the two movies I remember seeing him in right now, he's a jerk. He's a bad guy minion in one, and he's, um, I think, I think what the thing was is that they were about to lose the farm, and they had to have something. And Kevin Costner's character's like, I want to build this baseball diamond, or like he got the inspiration to build the baseball diamond, and he had to go and get James Earl Jones' character, who didn't want to come. He's like, I'd been there, done that with baseball, and like like he played on the team. Maybe he was no, that guy. Because there was another actor in there, and I don't remember the guy's name either. But he played the main character baseball player that Kevin was talking to. But anyway, he had to go and get James Earl Jones' character, and then I think he ended up getting kidnapped, pretty much. Anyway, I need to watch that again so I can, tell you what was going on a lot better. But that wasn't one of the ones that it's a good movie, but it's not one of the ones that I would watch over and over and over again. That's one for me to watch every once in a while. Although there's probably somebody out there who loves baseball and loves Kevin Costner movies and um and James Earl Jones and James Earl Jones and would watch it all the time if they could. Okay, trying to lubricate here. Drink some water. I know most people would say stay hydrated. And yeah, but anyway, it was a good movie. I think I liked it because of the imagination aspect of it. Like, I was the one that was watching the Muppet Babies and wishing I could do that too. Because, like, they would go and say, I want to be an airplane pilot. And then all of a sudden they're in an airplane and, they're flying somewhere. Or like, watching, um, well, okay, for an example, Halloween Town and wishing that I could just go and actually that was number two that the scene that I'm thinking of. Wishing that you could go to the mirror and just go poof and you're wearing a different outfit. Actually, I don't even think she did in front of a mirror, but it would probably be best to do it in front of a mirror because then you could tell if you did it right or not. Because, like, if you meant to do, um, a outfit with black pants and, um, probably black pirate boots and, all that stuff, and you accidentally did purple, it might still look cool, but, it's not what you intended. Or, like, you're sitting there playing video games and all of a sudden you're hungry or thirsty and, you use your magic powers to bring it to you. I know that sounds lazy, but um, it was like a really cool idea. Or that there's money in the bank or money in Fort Knox or whatever, and you let yourself have some. I don't know. That was like coming from a when I was a kid place. I didn't really want to steal the money, but I thought it would be really cool to have that amount of money. Anyway, I thought it was pretty cool because mother-in-law was, nagging a little bit over text yesterday, and and a lot of times our son he'll go and send like 12 messages, and I'm like, I wonder if that works on mother-in-laws because it was stuff that was already, it's like make sure you get um make sure you get a worker and all that stuff, and it's like we're already sitting there waiting for the worker. It was ridiculous. Anyway, it was ridiculous. So, so I sent her by at least 16 times. And she gave up. So I was like, yeah. I mean, because it's like she was asking, um, she was asking, did you get an extension? Did you this? Did you that? And it's like, we're not even in there yet. So yeah, some of these, um, raindrops. That's what they're called. Um, I was gonna call them snowflakes or something, or rainflakes. Anyway, some of them look like digital hidden Mickeys. It's kind of cool. I think we're gonna have to work on the house a little more this weekend, and I'm gonna have to seriously think about getting a rental, I guess. Which I still think is stupid because you're like throwing away your money. But it's like, even if I did like start with all those different food delivery companies, I think I would definitely um, I think I would definitely sign myself up for getting the ones at Walmart too. Okay. I don't know how I would do that, but I would definitely do it. But um I got father-in-law's car so I can take them places on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and if we absolutely have to, Saturdays and Sundays. Um anyway, I've got their car, um, so I would be able to do all of this, um, and get him to dialysis and all that too. Um, that would be kind of confusing though. Um, I I definitely want to sign up for those things, and I think we will do that tomorrow or later today. Um, I want to finish my book too, but being able to either a keep this place a little longer, or b being able to move into a more comfortable place. You know, we need an income. 'Cause we wanted a place over there by mother-in-law and father-in-law, and only because we'd be a lot closer when it's mother-in-law complaining that she can't do this on her computer, or the printer's not working, or um her phone's being stupid. We need to go over to T-Mobile. I think it is. Um whoever their cell phone provider is, I think it's T-Mobile. We need to go over there and ask why the phone doesn't do speakerphone, or how to get to it if it does. Because I thought all phones did speakerphone, and then I was looking and I could not find the speakerphone thing. She's got one of those that um, she's got one of those that you can open it like a book, and um, that way it's bigger letters and stuff. I actually told my husband that I want a new tablet for Christmas, because first of all, it can have bigger letters when you're reading a book. And then second of all, I might actually be able to edit it on the go. I could do that on the phone. It just doesn't always do it. There we go. Anyway, so starting at 11 o'clock, we should have some very nice content on YouTube. And maybe later today I'll do the Wheel of Fortune, Jeopardy, Disneyland Adventures. And more of this if we need to do more. That's going to be the small problem. I went and figured out all these houses, and then I'm going to have to go and take out at least two of them so I can put the church in. I might be able to fit it in one of them. So it's like that one was supposed, like maybe that one's supposed to be the stripped jungle log, and or that may be the two-story. I just know it's supposed to be a small church. It's okay. There's a song called Little White Church, and I was listening to that, and it was I think it was at the time when I was trying to figure out what kind of church it should look like. And, as soon as I saw it, I was like, that's the little white church. I think I'm going to change it up a little bit, a tiny bit, because somewhere in the Bible it says something about a cornerstone. So I don't know if I'm going to do it just on the corners, or if it's going to be um, cobblestone, or maybe this. Probably not this, but it could be, because notice we're using that as a fence thing. Anyway, I at least want to get one set of all the colors done today for this, and then I gotta eat some breakfast and work on my story until one of us, or both of us, because maybe I'll feel like going outside by then. Um, we'll go together. Thing is that, like, if one of us gets sick at some point, it's definitely not going to be both of us going to drop off or pick up from dialysis, and that's going to be a problem. I haven't gotten sick in a really long time. I would say knock on wood, but I don't know that we have any actual wood at the moment. Well, the desk and the TV stand might be. They're awfully heavy. That's all I know. But yeah, I haven't gotten sick in a really long time, and I'm really happy about that. Um, yeah, I had a time where, um, if I had cheese and my body thought it was too much, that I would erupt. Um, but that hasn't been happening either. My stomach gets a little off if I have, you know, mozzarella cheese. That's all. Dang. It's been happening all morning, and just when I'm streaming. It was not happening before then. It's something that I've seen my dad doing for years. Literally, he is like sitting there and he'll be fine, and then all of a sudden he'll start talking to people, and he'll have to clear his throat like 50 million times. And he doesn't even think anything of it until I start doing something like that. And I think that is so weird. I got all the, I call it bad stuff, but it's not all bad. Um, but all the bad stuff from the genes, like, like extra teeth, um, extra teeth, scoliosis, um, my mom's chest area. I think mine might even be bigger than she was, but anyways, that's not the point here. We're gonna stop talking about that now. um, just a few different things that are oh, and like bad wrists, ankles, and all that stuff. Well, the wrist is a bowling injury, but the the family on my mom's side had bad ankles. So like, I've got that going for me, and I am so afraid that I'm going to end up being maybe not wheelchair bound, but definitely needing to use one sometime in the future. And we have an upstairs bathroom at the moment. So, yeah, I'm so afraid of that right now. Grandma did end up in a wheelchair at one point, but part of that was because she just didn't want to walk anymore, I think. Um, and Grandma was diabetic too, so not trying to upset anybody, which is that's what it was. So, but she bounced back. She finally got to the point where she could walk again. Um, let's see here. Is there something we can? Oh, well, I know I talked about that already, but there was a few points in an upcoming book, Solitary, that the sentence just didn't sound quite right. Not like um not like it changes the meaning or anything. It's just that it's an awkward sentence. So I'm gonna have to go and like fix stuff like that. And then it's already got chapter titles, but maybe I could fluff it out by putting in page breaks where the end of the chapter is. I don't know if I already did that. Is the thing. If I didn't, then hopefully it'll create a few more pages to where, okay, so, it'll create a few more pages, and I know I need to do that one wall. Anyway, hopefully it'll create a few more pages, and I won't have to fluff out so much. Sometimes when I fluff it, it doesn't work. I mean, it sounds like I fluffed it to me. But then sometimes I fluff it and you come out with a really good wedding proposal. I mean, a marriage proposal. Sometimes you end up with a weird dream because, I said Sean likes Ashley and Ashley likes Sean. And so Sean is angry that Jonah is there with Ashley, uh, comforting her through the storm instead of him. So he goes to sleep and he has this really weird dream. He has this really weird dream, and it turns out that in the dream, he is still stuck in the really nice room that Hayden put him in so he doesn't have to see Sean for a very, very long time. And so he lets Hayden lets Ashley in about every 9 months. And so they start out with Daisy, and then Basket Baby Boy shows up. That'll make sense if you read my books. Anyway, so Baby Boy shows up, and then they have a second daughter, Lily, and they have a third daughter, Rose. Oh, Daisy's the first daughter. And then it just says, and more kids, and until they have 13. And then finally, Daisy's 13, or 16, or however old she is. Anyway, and she's got this boyfriend, and the boyfriend gave her an extra special kiss, and she's pregnant, and the boyfriend gets put in with Sean. So the weird thing is that Sean has, like a utility closet and refrigerator, and it's got the regular everyday supplies like toilet paper, paper towels, maybe paper plates, shampoo, conditioner, stuff like that. And it just keeps refilling itself, it never runs out. And so when this boy comes in, I think he basically wanted to unalive him. I can't exactly remember if that's what I read or not. A lot's been going on lately. But anyway, and the boy looks familiar, but he doesn't know why yet. But the room doubled in size when the boyfriend got there, and he's got a utility closet, washer, dryer, all this stuff too. So then, as soon as he finds out that boy looks familiar, he wakes up. He wakes up angry, and then I don't remember what happened after that. Or I haven't really gotten to what happens after that. But yeah, I know exactly how many kids they're going to have, but since this is solitary, that's like before they have all the kids. So it doesn't make any sense to give it all away, you know? Um, that's the problem. I want to tell you about all my books and tell you exactly what happened in them. And I'm having the problem of I can't do that because there's certain scenes in certain books that it wouldn't be good to tell that at that point in time, you know? Like a certain member of the crew gets his girlfriend pregnant, and then he's going to be the non-custodial parent. And if you watch a whole bunch of my videos, then you'll know exactly who I'm talking about because I mentioned it in uh, one of these last videos. Actually, after I'm done with this one um, and I've done, you know, we've been having baby pizza for breakfast. It's little French bread pizzas, but it's from Costco. So it's been a nice breakfast. It's not actually a breakfast pizza, but it's not actually a breakfast pizza, but that's what we've been using it as. Or like the other day, we had them for lunch, but I liked it when it was. I mean, I like it when it's breakfast. We only do one at a time because we're that poor that we can't do two. But oh, the spammers found me again. I've got to go upstairs. I will be right back. Don't press buttons on that controller. Don't steal my chair. I'll be right back. Hey, 66. Thank you. 66 followers on Twitch. Of course we have more on YouTube, but we've been at YouTube a lot longer, so. Well, we were at, okay, so I want to say December of 2024 or December of 2025. I think it's December of 2025. I did something, we'll say interesting, on Twitch, and Twitch did not like it, but YouTube was okay with it because I said it was adults only. And maybe there ought to be a adults only thing on Twitch too, that you could set up on your computer, and it would be it would be so you don't have to kick people off all the time. Because there's some people out there who do certain things on GTA, and I just said that, if it works, I would maybe do it more, but I don't know. And anyway, it turned out to be a bad thing. So they reset, they closed my account for me. I don't know if they were spring cleaning or if it really was that incident. But either way, it got all screwed up. So that's why it's Pirate Author 23 instead of just Pirate Author straight up, no twist. But, anyway, that happened. So, okay. I went and got the other account, and I'd already had the account. It's not like I maliciously decided to go and do that so I could do the incident again, or anything like that. I already had the account because it was so hard to set it up in the first place that I accidentally ended up with a double of my account. But one was Pirate Author and the other one was Pirate Author 23. So anyway, 23 came from I thought 23 was the perfect age, and I wanted to be 23 forever. But God didn't work it out that way. Anyway, another upcoming book. They're having a school dance, and Sunny, Eve, and Adam are there, and I think it was a college dance. So why weren't there more people there? But, huh? Hello?
Hi, I'm Maureen.
Hi, I'm Digital Droid, calling myself Maureen, and, trying to sell you death insurance, car insurance. Talk to you about your Medicare plan, which only works if you're 65 and over. So I'm turning 47 this year. And settle. Settle. All the way. Settle. Sam, settle. That's it. BB, that's it. I said settle. Thank you. Stubborn. He literally waited until he was ready. See, the thing is that for a house, I would love to get that really big house at Clayton Homes, but it was most of the budget. If we had $300,000 that we could spend on the place, it was most of the budget. So, okay. And then that wasn't even counting the piece of land that we need to buy to put it on and setting it up for using water and garbage. Well, it probably wouldn't be water and garbage. It would probably be septic, but yeah, there was a whole bunch of stuff that wouldn't have gotten added on yet. We'd probably end up having to live with mother-in-law and father-in-law for a while until we could get that stuff established. I've never had septic, so I don't know if we could do that. But, I wanted the really big house. And then buy another really big house, put it on the same property, and put mother-in-law and father-in-law in it. Or trust that we can all of a sudden get enough money to to get a house in their neighborhood. Okay. I don't know. So like on Tuesdays I usually do backgammon, and then I'll do Theme Park Tycoon 2 on Roblox, and then Clue. Well, I've been wanting some of those DLCs for I don't know how long, and You know what? I'm just gonna um tell you what the surprise is because I'm so excited. I was able to get the Blackadder Resort and the Polar Research Station and the other one. I can never remember its name. Well, anyway, and the other one. And still had money enough to buy Golf with Your Friends. I bought that one first. Because it's going off of Game Pass at the end of the month. So, I've got a backup. I can definitely play, I mean, it hurts to play it because of my wrist, but, um, I've got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game, Shredder's Revenge or something like that, that I can play if I need to. I like playing it, it's just that it hurt my wrist. And I don't think there's anything that they can do to change it slightly or, drastically, whatever, that it wouldn't hurt my wrist. So, I probably would only play it once a month. But I did like it. Um, last time I played it. So anyway, I did the first part of the Blackadder Resort, which was just to play a game in it, and I won. So, I was really happy about that, but you won't see it until December. So we will definitely have clue content, um, and it will, um, all of it will be new. Um, I never, unless I just don't know, and I have been putting on there maybe a repeat or something like that. Um, it was like if I really just don't know, I will put maybe a repeat on here. Um, like yesterday, I saw a video that I wasn't sure if it had been posted or not, so I think um, if I didn't put it to download yesterday, I will definitely put it to download today. Anyway, I am trying to keep both Twitch and both my Twitch viewers and my YouTube viewers happy, so I'm making sure to get all of my content that's supposed to come out on certain days out on those days. But the problem is that I'm going to end up having to pre-record a bunch of stuff and then you'll see it on the day that it comes out. Because I like my schedule where, it's Disneyland Sundays, and I thought that was, Disneyland Adventures comes out on Sunday, and I thought that was very appropriate because I seem to remember them saying that it was Daddy Daughter Saturday. Sunday. Daddy Daughter Sunday. I was just thinking this in my head and it was perfectly fine. Okay, so anyway, I seem to remember somebody saying it was Daddy Daughter Sunday when he thought up Disneyland. And I was like, okay, Dreamlight Valley content comes out on Wednesdays, so I had to switch that to Wednesdays, and which meant that Disneyland got switched to Sundays. Um, so So after I thought of, the daddy daughter Sunday thing, I'm like, oh, that is so perfect. And then we got Minecraft Mondays. It just seemed right. They both start with M. And then I don't know why, but we did backgammon and Roblox and Clue on Tuesdays. And then, like I said, Dreamlight Valley on Wednesdays, because that's when the content comes out. I usually get it all done, and I gotta go back on my sister's file and do some more stuff because she doesn't have Winnie the Pooh, and she didn't even have access to Winnie the Pooh. So I don't know if it's like certain players got it early or if it's like everybody does, but you have to have certain characters unlocked before it'll even offer it to you. I mean, I know that's what it said, but I don't remember who. So I've got to go and like level up every single character, and it's gonna be a very long while before she gets Winnie the Pooh, apparently. Um, but I think they were ones that were from the valley. So I've just got like Joy and Sadness, and I think Cogsworth and Lumiere, and we'll be done. Um, because she's got it on, my Xbox, she's also got access to Storybook Vale and Wish Blossom Ranch, but she does not have access to um Eternity Isle. So she won't be able to get Gaston and Eve and Rapunzel and Jafar, you know. She won't be able to get them unless unless um like unless a miracle happens and I'm making like tons of money on my food deliveries. The only thing I'm worried about is that it said specifically that I mean, my sister said specifically that I might have to actually talk to people. um, Most of the time I don't mind talking to people, but every once in a while, my imagination's like they could kidnap you. It's like what the heck? Okay, so I got a very weird imagination. It's great for stories, but it's not so great when like intrusive thoughts come and like it's the middle of the night, like say 2 o'clock in the morning, and you have to get up and um, go upstairs, or in houses that don't have stairs, that room. Anyway, you have to go to the bathroom. Um, anyway, maybe you have to do that, and then you're like looking out the window that somebody forgot to put the blinds down on, and and um yeah, okay. Anyway, and your imagination's telling you that there's somebody out there. They're staring at you right now. Uh, sometimes I hate my imagination. Most of the time I love it, but sometimes I just hate my imagination because it tells me stuff like that, and it's like I'm fine. There's nobody trying to get me. There's nobody trying to get me. Just because I grew up in California where somebody might be, um, you think of your parents' house, the house you grew up in, safe. You think of it as safe. And one time, my parents were at work, and somehow they got, uh, the bad guys like went through the doggy door, I guess, and somehow stole like all of Dad's pocket watches and a whole bunch of other stuff, and it it was almost like it was orchestrated by somebody who used to live in the house. And I don't know if they got caught or not. Can't remember. Which reminds me of, I've told you this story before, but while we were down there at Grandma's, we watched a little bit of a news report. I don't know why we were watching the news report, but we were. Like it was the only thing on at that moment, something like that. Anyway, and it was a news report about there was a mom and a kid. I thought it was a daughter. I don't know. Because later they said it was a son. But anyway, m- um, mom and the kid, and the dad was out for some reason. Um, maybe picking up to go order food or something like that. But anyway, he was out. They didn't actually say why he was out. But he was out of the house, and this guy goes and somehow gets into the house, because like all the doors were locked and everything. But the guy somehow gets inside the house and starts yelling, where is it? Or where is she? Or something like that. I think it was where is she? Um, anyway, um, the dad came back, grabbed his baseball bat, and convinced the guy to go outside. And that's where they left the report. Well, a couple of hours later, or a few hours later, or whatever it was, um, you know, I I was talking about that again, and my brother goes, "Oh yeah, he's with us because he works at a jail." And I'm like, "Ah, that's nice to know." you know, it's like that gives you peace of mind knowing what happened next. So with my stories, I go and try to make sure continuity did not blow it. If I say that Ashley um put on a pink shirt in the morning, but then at dinner time and she has not changed, um, and she has not changed her clothes. At dinner time, she's wearing purple. It wouldn't work. So I try to stop continuity from blowing it. Or like in the chapter I just worked on, I had Morgan talking and I couldn't figure out how to do it. And it still doesn't make quite enough sense, but it'll do kind of thing. Um, so I had her talking, but she wasn't there. And if she had said what she said when she said it, then Hayden would have heard. And then Hayden would have known that Sean and Ashley were dating. And like I have not been able to figure out how to um okay, so Hayden doesn't want any pirates dating his daughters, but he allowed that um Sean and Jesse were home alone with Ashley and Chantel because, somebody had to guard the house and feed and medicine the animals. That doesn't make any sense. Now, one of the things that happened a little later, um, Alan is home from wherever they went and spent Christmas morning. Um, like maybe they went to go see Kelly's dad. Because Alan's parents are both gone. So maybe they went to go see Kelly's dad? I think Kelly's went. Wow. That was a dark sheep. Wow. I haven't seen a dark sheep in a really long time. Um, anyway, maybe they went to go visit Kelly's parents. Maybe they just went to, like, a cozy cabin in the woods. I don't know. I didn't, like, develop it. It wasn't that important, but they're back, uh, Christmas evening, I think. And then, the next day, Sam Crenshaw Sam Crenshaw got there right in time for them to leave for Ashley and Chantal's grandparents' house. So you don't find that out until later, but that's how it happened. And then and he yeah, I don't get that because one of the things that was said in a previous chapter, and how am I supposed to work that out, is that um there are too many animals to feed in one day. So so obviously one person wouldn't be able to feed all the animals. Maybe maybe he had friends help him. They've got a lot of friends, so maybe they all came over and helped. Because animals like hamsters, um, you put the food through the thing, you go and make sure they have fresh water, and they're all good. And like the snake, um, the snake shows up later, so I don't know if he has the snake right now or not, um, but on Home Alone, on Home Alone, he's saying that his snake just ate and he should be good for a while or a week or whatever he said. So, uh, you know, if that's true, if that's true, then, um, Sneaky would be fine. Oh, and there's another scene. I can't remember who it was though. Anyway, one of the little kids is going around and freeing people, 'cause they all got tied to their chairs or handcuffed to their chairs, something like that, by the bad guys. And somebody is, it's one of the little kids. Somebody is going around and freeing them. Might be Jonah, I'm not sure. Um, but anyway, somebody was saying something about, oh, it's probably, a certain person's snake, because I can't remember who it was. Um, oh, somebody. Because they kind of like jumped when the little kid touched their leg to, you know, kind of go tap tap. I'm here. Question mark here. Oh, good. Okay. Want to make sure it was the one story. Because if it's one story, then I don't have to do anything, and if it's two story, then I gotta just do something. Um. Anyway, so like the kid kind of, you know, did a tap tap I'm here kind of thing, and started getting them free. And I want to say it's one of the um, female characters kind of jumped because they weren't expecting it and said something about, you know, um, oh, I thought it was, you know, this person's snake. Well, it turns out that person, whoever that um, is scared to death of snakes. When I say it was, okay, Craig or Tristan has the snake, and for real, but the snake wasn't even in that scene. But like they were rock climbing, and the snake got into, I want to say Tristan's bag. Um, they had climbing backpacks, or I mean, like a backpack to have a. I don't know. Like I was imagining, kind of like a camping backpack, but maybe smaller. Um, Something like that. And anyway, Sneaky got in there, and Sneaky got in there, and when they came home, that's where they found him. And Tristan question mark um thought he was cool, so he adopted him. Okay, so yeah, I got nothing except for that I'm hungry. Um, but I want to do one set of all the colors, and we've got 4 left after this one. So, it looks like I'm getting 95% of what I wanted for my birthday anyway, and if I get birthday money, then um I'm thinking that's a very big if because they retired this year, so I don't know if they're going to keep that going or not. I hope they do, but I don't know because they may not be able to afford it. Um, so they may not be able to afford it, and I will totally understand if that has to stop because they're retired. And I hope they can stay that way. I hope they don't have to be like, that door greeter at Walmart. I hope they don't have to do that when they're older and sitting on the stool and hoping nobody yells at them. Something like that. I think my mother-in-law could do that job very well. But I also think that she might get yelled at for uh first of all, I think she'd get yelled at for excessive not listening. But but it's a job that she can do. And they've gotten it at Walmart where they check your receipt, and I don't know if they have the highlighter like Costco does, but it's like, okay, you're supposed to um mostly look at the stuff outside of bags, which is kind of stupid. You ought to have to look at the whole thing. But they've got it to where you look at the stuff outside of the bags, and if it's um if it's not on the list, and oh no, you need to go back and purchase this. And then if it is on the list, it's okay, go ahead. But people don't want to put up with that nonsense because it wasn't a Walmart rule to begin with. Walmart makes up rules as they go along. Um, like getting rid of people that are really good fast cashiers and replacing them with younger, dumber, and cheaper, as my husband puts it. They're not necessarily dumber. They haven't been at the job as long usually. In fact, I didn't want a promotion. I really didn't. I was fine just being the cashier. Um, except for my back hurting when I got home. But anyway, I was fine being the cashier. You know, but there was a girl. She was 16 or 17 when she got the job, and as soon as she was 18, they offered her a management position, and it's like, what? No, that that doesn't work that way. It should be um, it should be a older person. I mean, just because you're older doesn't mean that you know what you're doing, but it should probably be an older person, not somebody fresh out of high school. But the thing is that they wanted to give it to me, but I just didn't think that I was good enough. And then now I don't have a job at all because that one manager, I know her name, that one manager decided to fire me over a trumped up charge, which means it was um, it's a lie. I was going to say false accusation, but she lied about me, and nobody questioned it. So it's like, fine, I just won't work. We are gonna maybe see if we can go to the senior center. We are gonna see like if we can go to the senior center and see about they're supposed to have a program or something where I can get paid, at least get, gas money. Um, where I can get paid for taking um father-in-law and mother-in-law around because they are seniors, which is very convenient that they're seniors. Because if I can get paid and we can go and prove, yeah, look, I have a steady income, then that would be great. We just got to be able to go over there and do it. I mean, talk to them about it. Or set up a time on Monday or Wednesday to do it because I know that we had they have an appointment at 9 something. I don't know why they can't work with my schedule too. Mother-in-law just goes, that's when they had the appointment. And it's like, well, I've got a schedule too. Just doesn't go on what you want to happen. But she doesn't seem to care, so. Anyway, anyway. I am, like, I am less than 100 pages away from being done with that story. Um, I'm, I'm very happy about that. And then I can start in on the next one. And then the next one, and, but yeah, I'm like super happy because, um, I can go and, I can go and do that. I kind of want, okay, so I was thinking that we would get Noah to be an official, um, an official pastor instead of just being, um, instead of just being an assistant pastor or a, youth pastor, but, like without the ordained minister part of it. Have him be a full-fledged pastor and like him and a few others him and a few others meet Sean and Ashley on the beach. And so after he proposes, they get married. I've been thinking about that, but I don't know if I want to do it. And then that could be part of what makes that story a little tiny bit longer, is that it can explain that he got married. They got married. Morgan was there. And so he hasn't been sneaking around with Ashley. He's been he's been having um he's been spending time with Ashley. He just uh, Hayden kind of thinks of Sean as the pirate that came in and swooped in, stole his daughter, and is forcing her to have fun with him. But that's not it. You know, it is mutual. They love each other, that sort of thing. But I've been toying with the idea of having them get married by Noah, and then that would explain why they didn't ask Noah's dad Luke to do it, because Hayden is stubborn, and problem is that um, I was watching Parent Trap, and it's Reverend Mosby, and so I changed his last name, and I think I changed it back again to some. Not back again, but I changed it to something else because I had put Mosby, because I'm like, that's close. But Mosby isn't necessarily a last name. What was that? Well, fine. Anyway, on the Parent Trap with Haley Mills, it is Reverend Mosby. And I'm like, I couldn't think of anything. I think I could put the last name that I wanted to put. I'm not entirely sure, but I think I could put that. But like I said, I'm not entirely sure, because they're the only people that I've ever heard with that last name. Um, I usually try to put, like a last name like Smith, Jones, um, Kane, something that's very, very commonplace. Anybody could have that last name. But every once in a while, I need to come up with a a different kind of last name. I've came up with so many different last names. Like if I am stuck trying to figure out a last name, I will look up uh common last names in. Oh, he stepped right into it. Anyway, common last names for that area, wherever it is. So, like, maybe common last names in Russia, common last names in um, Australia. I don't know if there's any common last names in Japan, but I would assume that there would be. Um, or like China or Germany, you know, you know, whatever background I gave them, I mean, whatever nationality I gave them, I look up a common last name for that area. Now, sometimes I don't find one that I like. Or like for Italian first names, I can only ever come up with Ninja Turtle names. I the one day I was like totally determined that I was going to find a different name than Raphael, Leonardo. Wait, Raphael, Leonardo, Donatello. Can't think of his name. Okay, there's Raphael. Okay, there's Michelangelo. Of course, I forgot my favorite. Anyway, those are the only four Italian names that I like. At least from that particular website that I was looking at that day. And I'm sure there's some more that I liked, but I mean, I'm sure that there's more that I could like, but you know, I'm like looking at them going, no. Not to say that they're bad, just that I didn't like them. But that's how I find all my names and all my last names. Um, Although I think one time it said something like, um, I'm going to use an example. It said like Estrella, and it's a very common last name, and I'm like, I don't think so. Like, Estevez, that's not a very common last name, and neither is Sheen. But like, there's an actor, Michael Caine. His last name is very common. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm just saying it is. So, in um, several different spellings too, because you can do like Cain, Caine, Cane. Uh, that could be it. I have hay fever. Oh yeah, that's another thing I have. I have hay fever. It hasn't been bugging me lately, but maybe it's bugging me right now. But I do not want to, like if I was going to start taking my allergy medicine again, or just take it for today because my nose is acting up. Um, it's just a little weird. Um, anyway, if it's something like that, then I'd have to take it tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be bugging me tomorrow, so I don't have to take it. I haven't been taking my allergy medicine for the longest time. Like, I don't, I'm like, I don't need it, so don't take it. I was taking it for the longest time. I was taking it because I knew that I have allergies, and I, you know what, I'm gonna do the blue one, and then I'm gonna, okay, I'm gonna do the blue one, and then I'll do the, what is it, crimson. Okay. The warped. That's the color that it is. Warped stem. Oh, I was gonna say we need an orange wood. Never mind. Why does that keep coming on? It says GTA 6 predicted to make up to 5.2 billion by end of launch week after securing an estimated 260 million via pre-orders. Wow. That keeps popping up on my screen and I'm getting really annoyed. Um, I would have pre-ordered. I really would. But it looks like we're probably gonna end up getting it in another month. Yeah, I keep having little daydreams, fantasies, whatever you want to call them. That I um that I did DoorDash or something like that. Um, you know, um that's the thing. I want to do like all of them. I want to sign up for all of them and then including the Walmart thing where you go shopping for them and you get every single one of their you get every single one of their items, and then you go to the Snap and Go, I think it's called, register and check out, and then you take it to them. The only problem is that, I mean, anyway, I keep on having, fantasies that, like, I got so much in tips that I could just walk up to the, mortgage office and go, I want, or maybe not the mortgage office, or, realtor office? Whatever one where you can just go and say, I want that house. And then they go and say, how are you going to finance it? And I'm able to go, no, I want that house. I don't need to finance it. And then my husband could, my husband could give a nod and... Hold on. Okay, you're over there. He's over there. And I heard what sounded like somebody trying to mess with the door. Okay. I don't know. I'm saying Ben is in his daddy's chair. Sam is in his box. Unless he just got there. And my imagination was like over exaggerating the noise. Because I looked over and I'm like, oh, it's only 10:14. There's no way he's coming home yet, my husband. So, unless, like, so there's supposed to be a, I don't know if she's like a supervisor or, anyway, she's, yeah, I think she's like a supervisor. And she's supposed to be, oh, yeah, she's supposed to be teaching the stores how to do the chicken properly because it hasn't been looking so you know, I guess it hasn't been looking so good by the time that the customer's ready to buy it. It's weird. Anyway, it's like I guess they have it to where it's allowed to be there for 2 hours or like it cooks for 2 hours. I don't think he knew the details. But anyway, it like, cooks for a certain amount of time and then it's supposed to sit in the display window kind of thing. But, by the time the customer looks at it, it's like, ew, I guess. And, getting this second hand from my husband, so I don't quite understand. But anyway, she's supposed to be coming and telling the stores how to do it properly, correctly. But the problem is that she forgot to secure a rental car. And I don't know if they don't have one. I don't know if they don't have one or what the deal is, but I don't know if it's like they don't have one or what the deal is, but my husband he volunteered to drive her around and she's gonna give a full tank of gas, so it's like cool. Oh, and take him to lunch. So yeah, seems like it's gonna be a pretty good day today. Um, and the mortgage company gave almost $5,000 to the HOA to like try to keep us in this place long enough that we can get another place. I still don't know how we're gonna, like if we have to move, because there could be like I go and take $10, $20, whatever, from my, um, 10 or $20 from my, birthday money and put it on an Xbox card so I can get that, um, oh, there's like one more DLC and it's only $7.99. I saw it yesterday. So if I oh, they have a new Sherlock Holmes one. If you're into Clue at all and like want to buy all the DLCs, they have a new Sherlock Holmes one. So I'm gonna guess that Sherlock Holmes is gonna be like the mustard person. I'm not sure, but because I haven't bought it yet, but it would be nice if I could get that for my birthday. And then, oh, that's another thing I need to get is pants. Now, my husband found a place and it was really nice and it has two houses, but I don't think we can convince mother and father-in-law to go in with us on that one. Like um if we all came in together on it, well, it would be the two guys, but if we all went in together on it, then we could have um we could have it in all four of our names, or at least the two guys, and then later put it in all four of our names, and then it's nobody has to worry about, oh no, one of them passed away and who owns it now. But I was thinking that way we'd be able to afford maybe $2,000 a month. I think they said that they're paying about 1,000 on their place, and then if we're paying about 1,000 on this place, I mean we're paying over 1,000 on this place. If we could put all that together, then I think we could swing it, but we'd have to convince them, and it would be a smaller place. But like I said, we want to go talk to the senior center, see if they've got anything that can be done. And then wrong way, because they supposedly had a program. No, wait, I need that. No. Okay. Okay, now the hard part. I mean, it's really no harder than the others. It's just that I've got to be able to do it to, I've got to be able to do this to where, we get this part just right. But the thing is that we'd probably end up having to put a bunch more stuff in storage, and I really don't want to do that. Or put the stuff in the garage and, the cars are left out to the elements. Not that they aren't right now, but yeah. Anyway. The only other thing that we can think of to do is that maybe, because my sister was saying that, when you're delivering food, you only get like $2 a delivery or something like that. But at least it would be something. Um, I think with um YouTube, all we need is those 4,000 public watch hours, and we'll be good to go. Um, you know, I think that's all we need. Or for everybody to go crazy for my short videos, but I don't think there's enough of them to generate. I just don't think that there's enough of them to generate a following for my shorts videos. My short videos. Um, I mean, I guess I could. I guess I could go and take things like the part of my video where the spam caller calls up and the part of my video where the spam caller calls up and then all of a sudden it's like earlier, Bank of America. Well, it said Bank of Amer, AMER, but same difference. Well, I guess that would be a mayor. But anyway, um, take those parts and turn that into a funny, but I mean, just extract that specific part and make that the video. I was kind of thinking of starting like a HOA Karen series, but I don't know if I could do that. And is it a specific person? Is it a specific person or a whole bunch of people who are using specifically the name HOA Karen? I've seen a few other names there too, though. Like I kind of want to turn our situation into a HOA Karen. but come up with a happy ending. Like if we lose this place, come up with a happy ending, and then if we don't lose this place, then uh, write it the way it happened. I mean, the thing is that um, I would like to be able to buy something else. I mean, um, keep this place and buy something else too. And that way we could um, rent this place out and then I'd have an income. I mean, I don't know if you have to have a real estate license to rent out your house, but if you don't, then, I could have an income and it'd be great. Okay, that was weird. The controller died. Okay, so the controller died. Then I was able to turn it back on again. Either way, it did not tell me it was about to die, so I had no fair warning. Um, but I know what it feels like to, have that, um, have that feeling like you're never gonna get out from under renting an apartment. And I admit, this place looks like a townhouse because it's a condo. I think that's just a fancy way of saying that they rechristened what the apartment is called. But anyway, and they added an HOA, and then the HOA, I guess, raises the price, and the HOA raised the price, and then we haven't been able to pay it. Well, we haven't been paying it the whole time, but or just about. So I can't help that. I don't have a way to get a job right now. I actually put in for the Dollar Tree, and just because I'm white, she did not want to talk to me. And she swears she called me in November, and I have two private number. It does not say Dollar Tree. It says private number. And this was after she told me it would definitely say Dollar Tree if she called. So I looked it up when I got home after the interview, and I'm like, I got two private number. I haven't told her that yet. It came up private number. So she either called me from her cell phone number and not from Dollar Tree at all, or she just said that so she'd have a reason to not hire me. And I don't know what she was expecting me to, like, she wasn't conducting a very good interview, I don't think. Because normally they ask you, like, what have you done previously? Um, she didn't even ask me if I speak Spanish. Speak very little Spanish, but I do speak a little bit of Spanish. She didn't even ask me. I can definitely read Spanish and pronounce most of it correctly, but I can't tell you what I was just reading. I expected, okay, so I expected it, I don't know why, but I just expected that, because like Indiana Jones, he knows a whole bunch of different languages. Um, and he's fluent at all of them. Giles from Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he knows um um what was it? Six languages or something like that. And he could speak them all, and well, I mean, he didn't, but that's not the point here. Um, supposedly he can speak them all, read them all, and I was just expecting it to be that easy for me. Well, it's not. I think that's part of this, whole bad memory thing. It's like I knew it when I was learning it, but now that I'm not learning it, it's different. Although, somebody will say something on a movie or a commercial or TV show or whatever, and I'll go, I'm not entirely sure that that's what you meant. Because, this means this and this means, I mean, and I don't even know what that means, you know. So I do remember some of what I learned, and that is no reflection on the teacher. No reflection at all. Um, you know how some classes have you do like uh I think it's a genealogy? I'm not entirely sure. Um, where you're supposed, oh, a family tree. That's actually what it's called, a family tree. So you're like saying that you're you, and above you is your parents, and then above you is your grandparents, and if you want to include them, your great grandparents, but like on your same line, you have all your sisters and brothers, and then and and for your parents' line, you have all your aunts and uncles, and then maybe on your same line, you have, cousins and everybody. They had us do that in Spanish class one time, and the only problem is, I think mine got a C or a B. I don't think I got an A, but I think I got a C or a B because the teacher did not understand about divorced families. So I had, mom and dad, and then somewhere between when I was 8 and 10, um, no, yeah, I was 8 or 9, I think. Might have been 7, but anyway, they pulled me aside and said, if we got divorced, who would you want to go with? And I said I wanted to stay with the house. So dad decided to keep the house. And there was a few times when, like the car was in the shop and I'm like, Dad said he was supposed to be home, and I walked over to grandma's house because I knew grandma would be home. But it turned out dad was home the whole time. It's just I forgot that, the car was in the shop getting an oil change or getting new. Or something like that. And he had told me before school. But I totally forgot about it because, all the stuff that happened at school. So, anyway, that happened at least once. I think it happened twice. But anyway, yeah, I just don't have the best memory. Okay, so we got a whole lineup done. That is awesome. We need okay, so what we need to do is we need to go and finish those houses on that side and then finish the houses on this side. And then we will only have the houses on this side. Yay! That's a yay because then I could start in on the buildings. The other buildings. Dang, it's only 10:41 though. We actually got all this done? Oh my goodness. That is way cool. Okay, how far are we from the end here? I bet we're very, very far. Um, so as I kind of hinted at, I didn't actually say it, but I at least hinted at it. I write books, and they are available on Amazon in hardback, paperback, and ebook. They ship everywhere that Amazon ships to, and they're available for free shipping on orders of $25 or more. For hardback, Pirate's Daughter, Misfortune, and Hard Times are $26 each. Esperanza's Party is 24. The Island is 25. Why is that? Um, and Lessons in Love is 27. Now, my children's book, Coral, oh, those are all my pirate books that are out so far. Yeah, that's the other thing. I want to figure out what the heck is in Jake's book. Also, okay, so, and I don't know if I want to do that next or if I want to just go right into Cot. And I'm probably going to go right into Cot. So that's one. This is two. This is three. Four. 5. Oh! Yay! Okay, so that one's already done. Yes. Okay. So I just gotta do this house here, and I can move on to that, and that two-story house is done because it ended up on dark. Awesome. Um, so why don't we finish this one? Okay. So, I'm gonna finish my outro first. So, okay. So, for uh, oh, my book Coral is not in hardback at this time. It wasn't enough pages. It was like 10 pages short. I really didn't want it more than 10 pages. I wanted it 24 pages, like a storybook tape. That's what I called it. Storybook tape. Disney story. Or well, I didn't just have Disney. I had Garfield also. Um, ooh, I wonder if I could find that somewhere. I want to say it was Garfield on the Town, and I listened to it a lot. Oh my goodness. It was Garfield on the Town, and basically he went away from the house to go visit his mom, who lives at the Italian restaurant, and he got to see her, and there was something about a mirror. Like he was looking in the mirror, and mom was right behind him, and he got a hug, and then he went home again, or something like that. I can't remember that story very well, but you know, it was cute. I liked it. And then there was I had Pete's Dragon, and I had Pinocchio, and I had at least one version of Cinderella. Um, I had a whole bunch of stuff. And then we got more when my daughter was little. We had Tarzan and Beauty and the Beast, and uh, we had a Disneyland sing along thing. But the problem is, it wasn't just Disneyland; it was Disney parks. So it had the Bear Country Jamboree from um, Disney World instead, and I was a little upset about that. Um, we used to watch Vacation Hoedown at Disneyland because that's the one that they played in April. But I could have sworn it was Vacation Hoedown when we went in '92 as well. Um, I've I went in '86. I went in uh and 2000. So anyway, I went in 1986, 1989, 1992, and then Big Gap. We went in 2000. And I personally think that my Country Bear Jamboree is done a little better than Dad's, but um and they were both done on a Sony Handycam, which is pretty cool. Yeah. Not the same camera. I had the supposedly updated version. Um, yeah, I had the supposedly updated version, and um, well, parts of his are better than mine because he actually has um, what's her name? Oh, Teddy Barra. Te- Teddy. I think the real lady is Teddy Barra, and they made her Teddy Beara because it's all bears. So I know it takes a lot to run something like that, but I wish they would bring it back. Um, I like Tom Sawyer's Island, but it's not one of those that, I have to have it. If they could do something where they've got the Country Bear Jamboree on the Tom Sawyer Island, then that would be pretty cool. For a while there, it was Pirates Cove or something like that. But people that have been going to Disneyland for a long time. Oh yeah, he may not know about that. Uh, okay, so David or Dave, is it David or Dave? I think it's David. From Fresh Baked. He has only been going since like 2003 or was it 2013? But I think he said 2003. I want to say he said a double O uh number. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, he hasn't been going that long. Where he's got you know able to go every day kind of thing. So well, he doesn't go every day. He goes like 3 days a week or 2 days a week, something like that. 2 or 3 days a week. And I want to say that they've got those passes when you can go anytime you want, but that's when he chooses to go. Um, and he's the one that does the park science all the time. So like if it says 15 minutes, he's going to go in that line and see if it really is 15 minutes. Or he's going to warn you, "Oh, wait until later. It'll be 10, it'll be 5." It's like, I don't think so. It's Disneyland. I have never seen I've never seen something that's better than 15 on a ride, and 15 minutes really isn't that bad. If you could get into every single ride and it would be 15 minutes, that would be awesome. I was thinking Disney could make even more money. Oh, I was saying about my books. Um, I'll say that in a minute. Okay. So anyway, for paperbacks, my pirate books are all $20 each. And then Coral is a lovely bargain at 6. And you may be thinking that these are hideous prices, and they kind of are. I wanted to make every single one of my books like $7.99 for the paperback. I wanted to make them all $7.99, but that wouldn't work because they're charging like $10 to make it a book in the first place. So if I'm charging $7.99, then I'm getting nothing and owing them money. So I went and made it 15. Well, that wasn't really turning a profit either because that was giving me $2. So I made it 20 because I don't know what's going on here, but um I really don't know what's going on here because the books are um the books are $20. Well, they're only charging $10 and something cents, I think, for publishing the book. And I'm only getting $5 out of it. So where's the other $5 going? Or $4 and some change? Where's that going? They don't need to be getting money for, besides the publishing, because they are doing that. But they don't need to be getting extra money out of it. And nobody can tell me where that extra money is going. Because I'm reading that it says it's $10 and something cents to publish the book. And then I'm getting, Well, out of the one book, I got $7.16 or something like that. And out of the others, I've been getting like 5. So I wanted to make sure I'd get $5, you know. So I set that up, and maybe I'm getting more than that, but I don't think I am. So where's the rest of the money going? Sounds to me like I should be getting $9 and something cents. 'Cause they are definitely publishing my book, you know. But, you know, it's like I'm cool with that. I am totally cool with that. Maybe I shouldn't be, I don't know, but I'm cool with that. They're publishing my book and they should get something for it. Um or you know, like that $10 and something cents is, you know, paying to make it be a thing to publish a book, you know. So it doesn't really bug me that that's being extracted, but it's like, well, where's the rest of the money going? Because like one of the books I was buying it, and it's like, okay, because you know I bought my own book so I could make a video of all of the books. And I want to go. Okay, so I don't want to go all the way to South Dakota to do it because that's where my sister and my uh, niece are. I think my nephew still lives in California with his mom, but you know, I would like to have them all like sitting by a tree and reading the book, or sitting by that water fountain. I mean, water fountain. Yeah, that waterfall, and you know, it's got a really pretty background, or maybe even at Mount Rushmore. I've never been to Mount Rushmore, but they have. Um, anyway, like have them at Mount Rushmore and and have them at Mount Rushmore and you know in a camp chair and reading a book. You know, one of the books I wrote. It you know, it has to be one of the books I wrote because that's where the advertisement comes in. You know, and do like do like my outro with that. So anyway, I want to do something like that, or even just even just have uh maybe me sitting. I don't necessarily want to do that, but you know, maybe have me reading my book at um Harvey's or Harrah's. Um, somebody, oh, my father-in-law was saying that maybe they had rechristened, you know, renamed, when the casino's up there. And I'm like, you can't do that. They've been Harvey's and Harrah's for so long. Although, um, one of the casinos um, in Reno, it's right now called the Grand Sierra. And then uh when we first found out about it, it was Bally's. I think that's what it was when it first. I mean, when we first heard about it, it was Bally's, And I was like, I don't know, I was like 15 or less, something like that. So like we had to, um, hello? Says Ren 421. I don't know. I was curious as to what the heck, Um, so anyway, for ebooks, Coral is $2.99. So you could like put it on your kid's tablet and they could read it anytime they want. Um, after you buy it, of course. um, and then Pirate's Daughter is $3.05. Pirate's Daughter starts the whole romance between Morgan and Hayden, and eventually shows that she got onto the ship. I mean, how she got onto the ship. I just thought it was good, a good idea because I've got some characters where, um, where they're on this ship, but it's like, well, where'd they come from? And is it important to say where they came from, or is it not important? So I'm kind of thinking it is important because where these people come from, and do they have parents, or are they are their parents alive? Are they not alive? I don't know. And I'm like, I'm like trying to figure this out. And there's some people with a really long, a long thing. Jake and Michelle are, an example of that. That's the next one in the older series of books. Um, Jake and Michelle, they come from Australia. Well, technically, he's the son of a pirate, and ooh, I didn't write that in there. That might be a way to extend it if I need to extend the book. Maybe like maybe it wasn't like love at first sight and all that stuff. Maybe it was. Yeah, so this is almost done. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I got 5 blocks left. Okay. I was thinking at first maybe it wasn't love at first sight. Maybe it was like Jane lived in Australia, and he, gave her that extra special kiss whether she liked it or not. But I was also thinking that no, I think they were both pirates on the ship and then they just fell in love. So it's more interesting the other way, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Uh, anyway, so but Jake and Michelle, they ended up in Australia um because sometime after they got pregnant and just before he needed to go to school, Jane insisted that, they move somewhere that Jake can go to school, get his education, all that, so he's got something to fall back on if being a pirate isn't, um, isn't as profitable as they would like it to be. So, just in case it starts, uh, raining. And they're all 350 something today. Oh my goodness. Um, anyway, so, so Jane ends up at this one house and, um, Jake's dad, Jane's husband, he passes away of cancer, so his bestest best friend is an aborigine um in Australia. So I put their house literally in the middle. Like if Australia was a square shape instead of the shape that it is. Um, you know, you go right you go right from the middle corner lines and you go to the middle and that's where their house is. It's probably out in the bush and it is definitely near Alice Springs. And Alice Springs is actually only mentioned one time. Oh, that's why they're going. Okay. Sorry, I was looking over at my computer real quick and I'm like, they're on the wrong side of the world if they're on Main Street. They weren't. They were in New Orleans Square. They were perfectly fine. Um anyway, um so Jane and Wesley, that's the bestest best friend, have kind of liked each other for years, and then now they have the opportunity to explore that. Um, and Wesley's got a son, Hunter, and he's bestest best friends with Jake. Well, on Jake's 16th birthday, Hunter brings a present for Jake, on his birthday, and it just happens to be Michelle. Um, Jake, Michelle, Morgan, and Hayden all grew up on the ship together. And Hayden ended up moving when he was 5. Uh, yeah, 5 to go to school. But mostly because he didn't want to get killed because Katie was about to unalive her cabin boy because of the fact that he was comforting her through the storm and they happened to fall asleep on her toddler bed. That's all. They just happened to fall asleep while he's comforting her and she got angry. So anyway, um, then Morgan moved off the ship when she was 7. They had rented a house or hadn't sold it yet or something. Anyway, it's Morgan's dad's father's house. Or grandfather's house, one of those two. I think grandfather's house. Anyway, whichever. Since I have no freaking clue. Anyway, it's a family member's house. So they had her 7th birthday there. Um, and um, Morgan and her dad Daniel got grabbed on rowed over to the enemy ship, and the bad guy Miguel is trying to get Daniel to say yes, Morgan will marry his son Antonio when the time comes, and Daniel's like, no, basically over my dead body, kind of no, and because Antonio was, you know, like his dad already, so so they end up moving to Australia temporarily, and then they moved to California, and then they moved to um I can't remember what they call New England. I want to say Connecticut, but at least New England. I don't know what part of New England. I just know that I invented that there is a school, but it's a closed campus school. And you are not allowed off unless the person presses the button to let you. I mean, you're not allowed out unless the person presses the button to let you out. So, and then they moved to New York. And like I said, Hayden ended up moving somewhere. And Michelle stayed with her dad on his ship. And, I mean, until Cheryl, her mom, got, her dad's name is James. Um, Cheryl got stabbed by a sword, like right through the heart, but Alan was there, so he patched her up, but she's still got like a heart condition, so like she can't take big scares and stuff like that. So, they moved to Australia, just down the street from Jake and Jane, which is really cool. And that's why Hunter was able to bring her to the birthday party. She's the new girl in school. And so they were pretending that they didn't know each other at first, but then they realized that, yeah, they know each other. They've liked each other for years. And they start dating again. So, uh, anyway, um, the one after hard times. Okay, Pirate's Daughter explains about Morgan and how she got onto the ship, and Hayden. I mean, Misfortune is Hayden's book, and that explains how he got onto the ship. But it's got some of the details that Pirate's Daughter has, but it goes into it from Hayden's point of view. And then there's Hard Times where it's William, and it's got stuff from Pirate's Daughter and it's got stuff from Misfortune, but it's told from William's point of view. And, all three of them have unique stuff that is just for their story. So it may seem like you're reading the same thing over and over and over again at first, but then you're going to realize that, it's from that person's point of view. And with William, some of the scenes don't last very long. Like, Hayden was in it's like a bedroom, but it's, I mean, it's a bedroom with a private bathroom, and it's got two twin beds and a wooden pattern TV. I want to say it's a wooden pattern square TV from way back, but anyway, it's got like one channel that comes in really good, and um yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Anyway, it's got one channel that comes in really good. So anyway, in that one scene, you meet. I mean, you already have Hayden in there, but you meet William and you meet Luke. Um, so anyway, after I'm done with Jake's book, I'm probably gonna come up with Luke's book. I started coming up with Luke's book, and then somewhere in there, um, I misplaced some of my stories. I don't know if they're on an external if they're or at least it feels like I misplaced some of my stories. So as soon as we move, or or if we don't have to move and we can stay here until we want to move, um, I want to go through my. I definitely want to go through my old computer and see if it's there instead. It's probably going to be an older version, but at least I'll have it. Um, so, so Coral is $2.99, Pirate's Daughter and Esperanza's Party are $3.05 each, and all of the other books are $5 each for the ebook. Um, oh, we're 11:14 now. Okay, yeah, we're fine. I can do the rest of my outro and we can leave and it'll be all good. So, anyway, if you're watching me on Twitch right now, please follow and chat. We are up to 66 followers. Thank you. I'm loving that. I keep telling myself that, it'd probably be easier getting the valid public watch hours over getting the, it would be easier getting the valid public watch hours over getting whatever I need for Twitch. The Twitch stuff just seems way harder. Oh, we need. Oh, that's another thing we need. We need 1,000. If I remember correctly, we need 1,000 subscribers. Also, I'm sorry, I keep forgetting about that. So we need 1,000 subscribers. We need 4,000 valid public watch hours. For YouTube. So if you're watching me on YouTube, please like, share, comment, subscribe, press the notification bell because you might actually be alerted to every single one of my videos. I say might because I've had problems where I'm like, wait a minute, I haven't seen Chronicles of Todd in a week. And then I go back and find out, oh, I didn't have it on all. So I know I have it on all right now, but I'm using that as an example. So like I haven't seen Chronicles of Todd in over a week, and then I'm like, oh, okay. So I put it on all, and then I know that they're safe. It's just the story of Todd and Polly and Henry now. It used to be Glamour, but Glamour passed away. She had some internal issues, like kidney problems or something. Like I said, a lot's been going on lately. I used to know that answer perfectly. But yeah, she had like a kidney problem or something. And unfortunately, Polly has it too. I am hoping and praying that the doctors in their area figure out how to nip that in the bud and make it not a thing anymore. Because it's the same disease, So, or at least that's what he was saying at one point, is like, it's the same disease. So if it's the same disease, what's going on in their area that is causing this? They've got to be able to figure out how to nip it in the bud. Or is it like the treats that they're being given? I don't know. I don't know why I would even come up with that, but I was thinking that he reposted a video in, I think, March. Yeah, I think it's March. Because I still haven't caught up on videos. But anyway, I think it's March, and like Glamour was really, really, really eating the churro, I think it is. Not sure. Anyway, anyway, it's like the kitty version of Go-Gurt. It's not yogurt, but it's got a tube like Go-Gurt, and they lick it out of there, and their dad usually shares one between all the kitties. And she was like really, yeah, she was cheating. She was biting down on the thing and getting more, which is kind of okay because Todd's on a diet anyway, so, or Todd was on a diet at the time. Um, so anyway, um, and of course, please buy my books, please. I had chi- um a fortune cookie fortune that said you will be financially stable uh um in due time or something like that. So it wasn't like soon. It wasn't by Christmas or anything like that, but it sounded really really good and I'm like I want to keep that. So I did. I don't know if my husband's thrown it away or not, but I did. I Oh, in due time. That's what it said. In due time. So I'm like, when, when. Um. Anyway, okay. I will see you in the next stream or video.